Now, in the last few hours, House Speaker Paul Ryan said the House will develop new sexual harassment training for members and staff. Meanwhile, here in Texas, our partners at the Texas Tribune have published a sweeping new report about extensive allegations of sexual harassment at the state capitol. So joining me now is Jolie McCullough, one of the writers of that article. And Jolie, you and your team wrote about women who accuse lawmakers of some pretty disturbing behavior. Of all the accounts you heard during your interviews, which was the one you found most disturbing?
Well, I think the most telling part was that we had so many of these accounts that we were able to collect from women who were afraid to actually give their name. There was one woman who had her hand grabbed and licked by a lawmaker. Another woman had a lawmaker shoot his hand up her skirt. And we did also have former state senator Wendy Davis come forward and tell a story about a House member who reached and grabbed her breast. And the thing is, when we're talking about these accounts, there's really a power struggle you touch on in the article about these women oftentimes being younger and the men that they're accusing being older and also being in a position of power. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how it is that this culture sort of is able to persist. You talked about outdated policies and a lack of enforcement. Can you expand upon that? Right. So, I mean, in any political culture, we have powerful people at play who have an advantage over low-level staffers or staffers who are beneath them. And regardless of the year, this is a problem that has been persisting for decades from the women we talk to. This goes back many years. This isn't a new problem and it's not an old problem. It's just a consistent problem. You also talked about sort of this communication with the women, sort of warning each other about who to look out for, because that's the way they sort of try to protect one another so that they don't become a victim in this sorts of situations. So how do these women want to see change so that this doesn't continue? Right. Well, really the thing we heard a lot was these women don't feel safe with the reporting mechanisms that are in place at the Capitol right now. It goes to people who, are fellow lawmakers of the people they might be being harassed by, or it goes to people that don't have any authority over lawmakers. So they are forced to kind of have this network amongst themselves and just deal with it and internally and with themselves a lot of the times. Really what they want is someone that they could be able to go to safely and discuss these issues with. Because these, of course, are very troubling issues, and this culture that you talk about in the article is incredible that it's been able to go on for so long. Jolie McCullough with the Texas Tribune, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And you at home can read the extensive work done by